Hello everyone, today I will be making a tutorial on how to make mods for Plants vs. Zombies Fusion. This will apply to both the regular version, the vanilla version, and the English version. And I hope to make this a series of tutorials, so gradually I'll show you guys how to make more and more things. For this tutorial, I'll just be giving out the basics, such as what programs you'll need, what kind of tools you're going to need, stuff like that, and we're going to be making a very simple mod at the very end. So the first thing you're going to need is Plants vs. Zombies Fusion, obviously. You can use the vanilla version, or you can use the multi-language version, which has English, Spanish, all of that sort of stuff. Just make sure you have one of the versions downloaded. It doesn't have to be the latest version, it can be whatever version you're playing on, but I recommend just doing it on the latest version. And obviously you're going to need these. Now, these are the tools you're going to need. So firstly, you're going to need Visual Studio 2022. So I'll leave links in the description for each of these. So Visual Studio 2022, you're going to need Melon Loader. This is a mod loader for Unity games, so we'll be using this to load our mods inside of Plants vs. Zombies Fusion. We'll need IL2 CPP dumper, which basically helps us decompile the code of the game so that we can look at it. And we're going to need something called dnspy, which is what we're going to be using to actually look at the code of the game. Now, firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to install Visual Studio code, or Visual Studio 2022. So you're going to open up the installer in the description. Hit continue, wait for it to get ready. Now, when you're in the installer, you're gonna see a screen that looks like this, right? You're gonna see a lot of these different options, and it's going to ask you which one you want to install. Now for this tutorial specifically, all we're going to need is the .NET desktop development option. You can install the other options if you want, if you're planning to use Visual Studio for anything else, but for this one in specific, we're going to need the .NET desktop development one. So you're going to make sure this is checked off, and then you're going to hit install. It should say install right here. I already have it installed, so that's why I didn't say install, but just hit install. And if you need more help, there are other tutorials out there. I'm not going to go too in-depth on how to install this, because it's pretty straightforward, but yeah, just make sure you have .NET desktop development selected, and you install that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to install Melon Loader into our Plants vs. Zombies Fusion copy. Now, the good thing about this is that if you're using the multi-language version, Melon Loader is already installed, so you don't have to install it again. But if you're for some reason using the original version, the one with Chinese text, you're gonna have to install Melon Loader. So the first step is to open up melonloader installer.exe, and you're gonna hit add game manually. Now you're gonna go to your Plants vs. Zombies Fusion install. So I'm gonna go to Plants vs. Zombies Fusion. And then I'm going to select PlantsVsZombiesRH.exe. So now you see that it was added here. This is another copy, ignore this. This is what we want to be focusing on. So we're going to press this, and we're going to leave everything as is. Make sure that this is the same directory that you chose, and you're just going to click install. Wait for that to go, and when it says successfully installed Melon Loader, we know that we're good, okay? And just to make sure, I'd like to open the game. So we're gonna wait for the game to load, and just make sure that all of this goes through. Open the game at least once after installing Melon Loader so that everything can generate, because it generates a lot of files that we'll be using to mod the game itself. So yeah, just wait for all of this, and you should be able to open up Plants vs. Zombies Fusion. Yeah, so you see this is the vanilla game. I'm gonna quit. Alright. Now that we have Melon Loader installed, again, with PvZ Fusion multi-language version, Melon Loader is already installed, so you don't have to do that process. If you want to, you can still reinstall Melon Loader, but it's already installed on the multi-language version, so you don't have to do that. Next, we're just going to extract IL2 CPP dumper into a folder. I'll just extract it onto my desktop. So you have this folder now. And we're going to extract the dnspy download. So we're going to extract all into our desktop. Just wait for that to go. Now that we have both of these, we're gonna start to dump our PlantsVsZombies Fusion DLL, like this game assembly.dll. We're gonna dump this so that we can look at the code using IL2CPP dumper and dnspy. So I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna open up IL2CPP dumper, just this one. I don't know if the x86 one works, but I'm just gonna open up this one because I'm on a 64-bit system. So if it pops up an error, just or like pops a security thing, just hit more info and then run anyways, like I just did, because this program is safe. I've been using it for years, and all it does is just scan these files. So I'll go into PvZ Fusion. Actually, for this one, I'll be using the PvZ Fusion English. So I'm just gonna, the multi-language mod. So I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna go into game files. If you're using the regular version, it's just gonna be in the directory, so PvZ Fusion game assembly.dll. But for the English version, we're going to be going to game files, game assembly.dll. We're going to open this. Now it's going to ask for a global metadata file. So this is going to be in PlantsVsZombiesRH underscore data. Then, not resources. Where is it? Or actually, you know, it should be in this. IL2CPP data. Sorry, I'm thinking of another game. You're going to go into IL2CPP data. Then you're going to go to metadata, and you're going to hit global metadata.dat. Alright, then you're going to let it run. Alright, now when it says press any key to exit, just press any key to exit. And now we're going to start actually making our mod. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up Visual Studio 2022. Alright, now we're going to create a new project. And what we're going to do is we're going to search up for class library. Okay. And you're just going to do this one. Make sure it has this C# or C hashtag thing attached to it, because this is what we're going to be using. Now, I'll name this TutorialMod. Because you can name this whatever you want, but I'm just going to name it TutorialMod for this. Hit next. Now, for MelonLoader, we're going to be using .NET 6.0. If you don't see this, you might have to go to a website to install it. I'll leave that link in the description. But we're going to be using .NET 6.0 just for the purposes of to be compatible with MelonLoader. So I create. Alright, now that this is open, what we're going to do is we're going to add the generated DLL files so that we can use MelonLoader and the actual game code to code a mod for the game. So what we're going to do is, you'll see this menu on the right, you'll see your project name, and then you're going to see dependencies. Right click on dependencies and click add project reference. Now it's going to say no items found, don't worry about that, just click browse. Now go to wherever you install MelonLoader, or if in this case we're going to be going into the English version. But if you're using the regular version, just go into your game files and click on MelonLoader. Click IL2CPP assemblies, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to select 3 of these DLL files. So I'm actually going to do this on the English version. So game files, MelonLoader, IL2CPP assemblies. Now we're going to need 3 assemblies or .dll files from this one. We're going to need Unity Engine core module, Unity Engine, and Unity Engine input legacy module, right? I also like to import IL2CPP MS core lib and system.core. I think this is the one that usually pops up. But yeah, sometimes you'll get an error and it'll be in these 2 files, so I recommend clicking on these, and we're just going to add. I'm not sure if these are required, but these are just the ones that give me trouble when I'm coding, so I just like to import those. Then we're going to go back to the MelonLoader folder, and we're going to go into .NET6, and we're going to select Harmony.dll. We're going to select IL2CPP interop runtime. We're going to select MelonLoader, and I believe that's it. I believe that's all we have to import. So we're going to hit add. Now hit OK. Wait for that to load. Now look, we have, if we go into dependencies and assemblies, we have all of these different assemblies. So make sure you have each of these from the game files. So now, I'm just going to rename this to main.cs. Yeah. Just click yes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way to the top of the file, and we're going to type the following, using MelonLoader, using HarmonyLib, using IL2CPP, using Unity Engine. And boom. Those are these four are what you're gonna absolutely need. You may need to add more later on, but the code errors will tell you that. Now we're gonna need a bit of boilerplate code, or not. I don't know if that's the right term, but we're gonna need something that actually tells us that we're making a mod for MelonLoader. So I'm gonna go grab the code for that. I'll be right back. All right. So we're gonna need to add these 2 lines of code. I'll leave these in the description and then I'll explain them here, but you can basically just copy and paste this into your mod. So firstly, you're gonna need assembly MelonInfo. Now, right here where it says TutorialMod.Main, make sure that you copy whatever name that was created with your project. So in this case, I selected Tutorial Mod, but in your case, you might have named it something else. Just copy and paste this right before .main, or .main isn't always going to be .main, it may be .class1. Just copy whatever this class is right here into where it says .main, right? So yeah, just copy and paste this right here, and then do copy and paste this right here, right? So then you're going to have the name of your mod. My name is just tutorial mod. Then you're going to have 1.0.0. This is just the version number. You can change this to whatever you want. You can change this to 2.0, 1.1.2, whatever. I'm just going to leave it as 1.0.0. And then the author name, I'm just going to put my name. And then MelonGame, assembly MelonGame. And make sure that this stays the same. This make sure that it's compatible with the game that we're running, right? And this also makes it compatible with the English or multi-language mod. So yeah, just make sure that all of this is at the top of the file. And we're going to add something right here in this line where it says public class main, or whatever it is called. We're going to add a colon, and then we're going to write melon mod. Okay? So now all of this makes it so that the game knows that we're making a mod, and when we put the final file inside of the game files, it knows that, okay, this is a melon mod for this game in specific, right? So now we're gonna make just a very simple mod, and I'll show you guys how to use dnspy to look out for what you want to actually change. So for this tutorial, it's gonna be something very simple. I'm just gonna make a mod that gives me unlimited sun, right? Like, that's a pretty simple mod. It's a pretty like standard thing, like a standard cheat throughout like PlantsVsZombies cheats. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to do public override on initialize mod, right? I'm just gonna do this so that I know that my mod is working, right? So do public override void on initialize melon. It should autofill if you're using Visual Studio Code, if you just write public override void on, and then it'll say like on initialize melon. So you can use that, or you can just type this out. And I'm going to use this command, melonlogger.msg, a message. And then I'm gonna write loaded tutorial. So I'm just gonna do this so that I know that the game is loading my mod. And when we open the game, we'll be able to see this message pop up, right, when we run the game. And there's when you use MelonLoader, there's normally a command prompt that opens alongside of the game, and we'll be able to see this. And I'll show you how to get that command prompt, because it doesn't always show up with the multi-language mod. So I'll show you how to get that when we get to that point, right? Actually, I'm going to build the mod right now so that we can test it out and make sure that everything is correct. So when you want to test a mod out, or when you want to build your final mod, you're going to go up to the top, you're going to press build, and then you're going to press build solution. And just wait for that to run. And when it says build one succeeded, what you're going to do is you're going to right click on any of these files. Main is the only file that we have, so I'm just going to right click on main. and I'm going to hit open containing folder. Now, to get the mod, I'm going to go into obj, this folder, debug, net 6.0, and then I'm going to grab the .dll file in here, right? So it's just going to be the name of the mod that you're making, .dll. So in this case, it's tutorial mod. Now I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it inside of the mods folder of whatever Plants vs. Zombies Fusion edition we're using. So for this, so for the original version, you just go into the Plants vs. Zombies Fusion folder and click mods, and you just paste it in here. And for the multi-language version, or the English version, you're going to go into game files. So wherever you installed it, click game files, then go into mods and just paste that in here. You're going to see some other stuff. Just leave this. This is like the actual translation mod. But this is our tutorial mod, right? Now, if I were to open this, how the instructions say to use launchgame.bat, you'll see that it just loads up the game, but we don't have any like command prompt. Remember how I said there's going to be a command prompt? Right here, there's nothing, right? It just gives us the game, and we want the command prompt just to make sure that when we're if we're modding, we can see like any of the messages that we make. So like for instance, right, melonlogger.message loaded tutorial mod, we want to see if the game actually loaded that mod. So instead of clicking this .bat file, I'm gonna go into game files and click PlantsVsZombiesRH.exe, because even if I don't hit that launchgame.bat file, I'll still be able to open the game and MelonLoader will still load. Now, as you can see, we have PvZ Fusion Translator, and boom, our tutorial mod right here. So we know that the game loaded in, but I want to make sure that it actually runs the code. So I'm going to wait for this to load. I don't know why it's taking so long to load. I think it's because this is a new copy that I just copy and pasted, so we'll see. Okay, so I ended up just reopening the game because it just like froze on the white screen for some reason. Now, as you can see right here, right here, we see that at this time, it printed loaded tutorial mod in the command prompt that opened right beside the game, right? Now, this is good because now we know that the game is actually running our code and that the DLL loaded, right? So we know that our code is running and we know that it's inside the game. So this is good, right? I just like to make sure of that before I go in and make a mod, right? So now I'm going to use dnspy to look at the game's code and see what I have to modify to get infinite sum, right? So I'm just going to go back right here, and now I'm going to go into dnspy-net-win64 or whatever folder you put it in, and I'm going to open up dnspy.exe, okay? So I'm just going to wait for that to load. Okay, it has a bunch of stuff loaded. I'm just going to close everything. Now when you're in dnspy and it's all blank, you're just gonna click File, Open, and in the IL2 CPP dumper folder, it created this other folder called dummy DLL when we ran it, right? So we're gonna open up dummy DLL, and in here you're gonna select the first one, assembly-c#.dll. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, actually, this is quite important. When you're in here, I forgot to add something. If you go to dependencies and add project reference, make sure that in MelonLoader and IL2CPP assemblies, you put in assembly-c#. I forgot this, but this is like extremely important because this is like where all of the game like variables and stuff is. So you're gonna have to do that. I am sorry for forgetting that, but you know, I'm just gonna put it in now. Remember to add this to the file. Remember, just right-click dependencies, add project reference, and then go into MelonLoader, IL2CPP assemblies, and just select this, right? So I already done it, so just remember to do that. Now, in dnspy, when you open this up, it's going to load this, and you're just going to want to click the drop-down menus until you see this dash, okay? And these aren't important, just remember this dash. Now drop this down, and boom, we have a bunch of different types and variables that we can use inside the game to modify like anything that we want, right? So for example, we have money, we have different plants like Chomper, we have like the custom block, which is like the custom levels, we have sun, all these different things, right? Now, since we want to mod something about the game itself, the first place I'd look for a function to use is board. because board contains a bunch of functions about the game itself, like when you're playing the game, like when you're in like the actual like game itself, like when you're planting. So you can see there's a bunch of different functions here. So like, you know, sun update, what else? Show plant health, show zombie health, set sun, you know. But what I want to do is I want to modify something in this so that I get infinite sun. Now, I know there are some in here like get sun and set sun, but these are functions that don't really do much. They kind of just get like, they get the value, but they don't really return anything. They don't really do much, so we're gonna ignore those. And instead we're gonna look for things about like update, or in this instance, we might want to use sun update. So we're gonna try both of these. We're gonna try sun update and update, right? So the first one we're gonna try sun update. So remember, the type is board, like the thing that we're in is board, and then the function that we're using is called sun update, right? So now I'm gonna use a bit of code from my other project. Let me just grab that. And I'm going to turn it into like a sort of template. Alright, so this is what we're going to be using to modify the actual functions of the game, right? So it's something called HarmonyPatch, which is part of HarmonyLib. And basically what this does is it takes a function in a certain like type, so in this case we're going to use board, and it basically adds code to it using this Postfix function. So basically at the end of the function, it'll just add a bunch of code onto it so that whenever the function runs, that the code that we want to run will run right beside it, right? So to set this up, we're going to type in the type that we want to use. So our type is board, like this, like it'll be bluish green. Our type is board. And I'm also going to put that right here where it also says type. Remember this. And then for function, we're going to type in sun update, because that's the function that we want to use, right? Remember sun update. Now, this template patch name, you can change this. I'm going to call it sun patch. This name doesn't really matter. It's just so that we can differentiate between different patches. But I'm just going to name it sun patch. You can name it whatever you want. But now I'm going to do something with this function, right? Now, the thing is, we're not going to be editing the function directly. Most of the times, we're not going to be doing that. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be using this __ instance. And we're just going to be setting values. Like, for example, this one, we want to set the sun count to just infinite, right? Or not infinite, but like 999, maybe, like 9,000, right? So, I'm just going to use this instance, which basically takes, like, the board type in-game, and basically sets different values about it, right? So for this case, right, I'm going to do __ instance dot, right? And then you see we have a bunch of different sort of variables and functions and stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in sun, right? And you see that it kind of just finds everything that's related to sun. So sun update, extra sun, false sun. Now I'm going to look for something called the sun, right? In a lot of things about this game, the variable, sorry, that's the wrong thing. A lot of the variables are going to have like the in front of them. So like for the money, the points, the sun, the survival max round, right? The use stun, right? The wave, right? So if you want to modify like a singular variable, I recommend looking for the and then whatever you're looking for, right? So like the sun. And in this case, the sun is basically the amount of sun that we have during it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this equal to, you know, some really high number, right? So I'm just going to write instance dot the sun is equal to 99999, whatever, right? So now to test this, I'm going to build it. So remember at the top, click build solution, and then right click one of these files and go to open containing folder, and then navigate to this folder right here and copy this mod, right? And I'm just going to go to right here where I have the English download. And I'm going to go to the game files and then mods, and I'm just going to paste my mod in. Yeah. So, once you do that, we can load up the game. Hopefully it doesn't take 10 years to load in, like it did last time. So as you can see, it loaded our tutorial mod. And any moment now. So now I'm just gonna go into a random level. I'm just gonna go into level 1. Why not? And I'm just gonna hit Let's Rock, and we'll see what happens. So as you can see, it's set to 999 once the game started. So as you can see, I can just play whatever I want, and the sun just does not go down, right? It's always at 999, right? So, yeah, right? And if I restart, let's say I want to go into another level, like, I don't know, just go into a random fusion challenge, right? Fusion challenge, let's just choose a bunch of random stuff. And as you can see, our sun gets set to 999, right? So I can just play whatever I want, right? So, yeah, that's the basics of modding, right? And we can do more stuff. For example, if I want to go here and I want to set, let's say, instance dot, I don't know, let's see, dot, I don't know, the wave, we could set it to just like the last wave or whatever, or we could set like the points or the money to like 99 whatever if you want to use like the marigold stuff. But yeah, so that's the basics of modding. Basically, in the tutorial, I hope it was clear, like, firstly what programs you're gonna need, and then basically how to create a basic mod, sort of. I hope this tutorial was clear. If it's not, hopefully part 2 will be more clear. But yeah, so basically, if you wanna, so this is like a simple mod, like patching. Hopefully in the next mod I'll show like, okay, this is how you can do stuff like adding different plant types, or like adding different or modding plants to like do different things, or like instantly winning. But yeah, this is just a simple mod, like setting the sun value. Yeah, that's basically it for this tutorial. If you guys want more, or like you want more about the game itself, just let me know. Let me know what you want part 2 to be about. I'm still not sure what it entirely will be about, but hopefully I can turn this into a series where you guys learn more and more about modding, right? So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and comment if you want more. Alright, thank you. See you later.